beautiful day. We had a beautiful week last week. I wish I could have been in person, but I was monitoring you all over the video, so you did a great job. So good. See all my friends again. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts to where you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. You're going to have a sore neck before this is over, Jim. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. Yes, we hold you in our hearts the way you are.
God, it's great to see all of your faces. Thank you so much for being here. Is there anybody who's new? I see a couple of new faces. Anybody new today? No, Bill, you're not new. Today you're new, but that's true, that's true. Anybody else brand new, never been here before? Okay, excellent. Then we're all friends here then, right? Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next step. We're going to do a little meet and greet. Say hello to the people next to you. Remember to ask if they want to hug before you hug them. So we're just going to take a few minutes. You play a little ditty for us, Alan. Go ahead and stand up and say good morning to your friends. Welcome back to your seats. Welcome back to your seats. I want to take a minute to acknowledge those people that make this whole thing run. For our Sunday morning, we have Bill Smith, who is on our technology, also one of our helper setter-uppers. Yay! We've got Alan on as music today, and all of his helper setter-uppers as well. Yay! Diana did all of our kitchen setup and helped with the books, setting up our bookcase and all of that other thing. So thank you, Diana. Yay. We have our practitioner of the day, Miss Sue. So grateful. Thank you. Yay. In High Watch Day, we have Miss Starr, another practitioner of ours. Excellent. We have on our greeting table was Crystal. Thank you, Crystal, for volunteering to do that. Thank you. Thank you. Tim, you're going to help us out with a little gong, and we've got Charles, who's going to be working with the donations and the tithing. Did I miss anybody? He's doing drums too. Well done. But we got Mary over here doing percussion too, so both of you get acknowledged. Thank you for participating. Everybody else, we're just glad you're here. Let's see. Let's do our announcements. Change the order. Okay. They're not coming up. So you'll use that.
So while you're awake and aware, and we're going to go through the announcements quickly, so you can plan your week and your month with us. Practitioners, thank you, I forgot that. This designates the practitioners today. Bill is not wearing one. I got the extra one. Thank you for bringing that.
Wait a minute.
Chris, you got it? All right, he's putting it on. And Stephanie, we're available for prayer today for a few moments. If you want to meet us back in the back corner, just ask. And available all the time as your practitioner core to offer prayer for any needs that you might have or things you want to discuss with us. It's a great blessing to share. And you know, there was a famous saying that a sorrow shared is half a sorrow, and a joy shared is twice the joy. So
I like
share
that.
those things with you. Who's clicking today?
Oh,
As she mentioned, we have a bookstore, lots of new books. Every week I see new books back there, and I bring some new ones. So look through those and take home what you'd like to read, just for a small donation. Thank you. My workshop is today, and I'm ready. We're going to woo-woo, and we're going to yoo-hoo. So join us. It's going to be on a Native American theme today, so it should be very, very interesting. I'd love to have you join. And keep in mind, next month, I think we're going to do vision boards. So let me know if you're interested in doing that. January 4th, our Reverend Joe will be with us online. January 11th, in person.
I'll trade you spots.
Flames of Faith.
Okay. So we perform the Flames of Faith ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which is known that all people and all things, all beginnings come from the great universal presence, which we call Spirit, God, Love, Source. So as we honor each one, Tim will hit the bowl and we will take a deep breath together in that honor. So we start with the first lighted candle of unity, which represents the unified nature of all religion through the expression, experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle of shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirit. We light the candle of Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony, equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by the sacred law. We light a candle for Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle acknowledging all forms of new thought, including the Center for Spiritual Living, the metaphysical path of a personal relationship of healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the next candle for inclusiveness, affirming that those that are seeking a stronger knowing and understanding of the divine love are welcome here. Nothing exists outside of God. You are welcome here. And now we light a candle for the healing candle and invite you to silently offer into the light the names of loved ones, knowing that they are now in perfect expression of spirit, eternally wholeness and love. Thank you. Thank you, Tim.
Time for another song. Hey, I got it. When I was a boy each week, on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. The only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track. Everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small. It's even better if it's anything here at all. So the challenge is, things become not to look for miracles, but finding where there's one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a seam of dips. It used to be a world out there, heaven secondhand down. But now I walk with Rev Rachael. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read a questioned child's face, say it's customary. That'd be very hard to say. See another morning come, say it's a sacrament. I tell you, it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. There used to be a world up there, heaven's second rate hand me down. But I walk it now in reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now.
Thinking of the new year coming. In the daily guides on December 18th, Reverend Dr. Michael Gott states that biological evolution does not happen in a slow, straight line of incremental changes. Instead, it happens through long periods of very little change, disrupted by short bursts of massive change brought on by stressors in the environment. This is called punctuated equilibrium. He noted how this is how his spiritual growth happened too. Think about the times that you have grown and changed the most. Was it related to recovery, the end of a relationship or a job, the death of a loved one, or a health crisis? Some of these things have triggered a time in my most intense spiritual growth and growth of my character. Reverend Gott said also that sometimes our growth doesn't require a crisis, that sometimes we outgrow a former way of thinking and being, like shedding our skin. Making a decision for conscious, intentional change, such as taking a class or joining a learning group, even reading a new book, can sometimes bring growth that you never expected. When I took the plunge to participate in practitioner studies, I found that I experienced spiritual growth that I didn't know was waiting for me. Gott ended his article with, what if we don't need to wait to be in pain before we heal and grow? What if at any moment we can set our intentions, smile, and say to ourselves, here we grow again. So here we are at the end of another year. You may want to join me in this affirmation for your New Year's resolution. I release old patterns of thinking and behavior as I step into a greater realization of the truth of my being. Now I'm going to have you write it down. Please fold the paper that you got this morning like a book. Just fold it in half. On the front of your book, you're going to write down this intention for the new year. And we're going to use the inside for more activity later. I release old patterns of thinking and behavior as I step into a greater realization of the truth of my being. Need that one more time? I release old patterns of thinking and behavior as I step into a greater realization of the truth of my being. and may it be. Namaste. We're going to go right into our invocation now. Affirmative prayer. Please join with me as I pray in the first person. We are all one, and so I represent everyone here as the one, and my words, may they be your words. Settling into this sacred moment of prayer, I recognize the Holy Spirit, the presence of the One, and I recognize that that presence resides in each one here, in my heart, in all hearts of all of God's creation. I am grateful for the comfort, the guidance, the love, the companionship of Spirit. I know that this service today will bring Spirit alive, will bring love alive in our hearts. I know that the word is spoken in truth, and that truth will be part of our lives, part of our minds, part of our thinking. I express gratitude for this wonderful year that CSL St. George has experienced, for our two wonderful ministers, for the guidance that they give, for the organization that they offer to CSL St. George to keep us functioning, to keep us flowing. And we know that this love and this feeling and this philosophy that we have here will be going out into the world through the internet. What miraculous miracles we see every day. In gratitude for all that we are, for all that we have, for this year of health, peace, protection, guidance, friendship, and love. I am so blessed. And together we acknowledge this in saying, and so it is.
So it is. Hey, I pushed the right buttons over there. No matter what it looks like today over there, don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. He has no clue. Is this on, Stephanie? Everybody smiling? Jerry, come on. You too, Rick. Everybody's got a smile for the world. Yeah, everybody's got a smile for the world. You gotta let it shine brightly now, 'cause that's what it's for. Now there ain't no sense in crying when life has got you down. There ain't no sense in crying when life has got you down. Put a smile on your face and turn those blues around. Everybody's got a smile for the world. Yeah, everybody's got a smile for the world. You gotta let it shine bright, 'cause that's what it's for. Everybody's got a smile for the world. Yeah, everybody's got a smile for the world. You gotta let it shine bright, 'cause that's what it's for. Now when you feel like something's different from your day to day, When you feel like something's missing from your day to day, just put a smile on your face and chase those blues away. Everybody's got a smile for the world. Yeah, everybody's got a smile for the world. You gotta let it shine bright, 'cause that's what it's for. You gotta let it shine bright, 'cause that's what it's for.
So today we're talking, well, Happy New Year, everybody. I can't believe that 2025 is over. We got like 4 days left. And then we enter into 2026, and goodness, I'm so curious to see what that looks like. I remember at the end of 2024 going, oh, I'm so glad this year is over. It was a really hard year. And I wonder what 2025 was going to look like. And it's been amazing. And one of the key things I think I've focused on this year is releasing, refreshing, and now, at the end, it's time to renew. So there's this song, and I'm sure you've all heard it, and if you haven't, look it up and listen to it. Ricky Byard does an amazing version of it because she wrote it. And I thought, this is one of my go-to songs when I'm driving in the car and I've fallen asleep, not literally, but spiritually, and I think to myself, life is overwhelming, it's too much, things are going wrong, I can't control the stuff, I can't make stuff happen the way I want it to, what is going on here? And then I remember, it's not mine to do. It's mine to be. And in the being, I release and I let go, and I let the Spirit guide my life. I literally sing the song as I'm driving, out loud, at full volume. So I wanted to take a minute and look through the song and share it with you because I think it's a huge tool. Singing brings a part of our brain alive or awake that just talking or writing doesn't. And so it starts off with, I release and I let go. And when I get into that place of I need to control, I need to make it happen, I need to do to make it make. The reality is that's not the truth. I need to release and I need to let go. Because through the releasing and the letting go, I let God. And that's really who I am. So instead of trying to force reality to look and be the way I want it to, when I release it and I allow the God in me, as me, to work through me, the allowing of it, the surrendering of it, makes it happen. But we also know that it is the feeling that we feel that creates the surrender or the release. So I used to have a real big issue with the word surrender. Anybody have that one? Because as I was growing up, right, surrender was giving up. Surrender was letting the enemy win, right? I surrender, take me, right? No. It was in my 30s that I was challenged with the idea of that surrender could make something different. That surrender could be giving up the fight and allowing to happen, which takes a lot of like mental gymnastics to kind of shift the concept of surrender as a I give up to a I allow. Even Ernest Holmes says that it is not the power in holding the thought, indeed, it is the secret of releasing it, right? To lose the thought, to let go of the thought, of the constraint, of the limitation of the thought that is. So then the next one is, I let Spirit run my life. And that's part of the release. That is the knowingness of who I am. and what I am. Okay? And my heart is open wide. What does that mean? My heart is open wide. Well, I interpret that as the feeling in my heart that I am full of love, that I am full of life, that I am the God that is who I am. I'm not defined by the limited thinking that I have been programmed to believe, that I'm not pretty enough, that I'm not tall enough, that I'm too old or I'm too young. We all have them, right? We all have those limiting thoughts that we believe to be the truth of who we are, which are not. And so what do we do with those thoughts? But we have to release them. We have to surrender them. We have to lose them, as Ernest Holmes says. We have to lose those thoughts so that we can replace them with something that inspires and makes it happen. So when you're driving down the road and you're angry because someone just cut you off, that is the forgetting of who we are. Those are the limiting thoughts that we are separate. But the reality is that we're not. So I'm only here for God. And I remember when I very first heard the song, and I'm like, I'm not only here for God, I'm here for me. But then I forgot that I am God, and I'm here to express myself as God, right? I'm that perfect expression as God, as Rachel, having this experience. And that is the whole point of us being in this reality, is it not? To have the love and the life and the light and the expression that is God through me, to continue to grow and explore, as just like Sue said, to have the experience. Yeah. So I'm okay with I'm only here for God now, because that means I'm living in my authentic self. I'm living from my authentic self. The next line is, no more struggles, no more strife. So for a long time, I thought the struggle was the point. Like, we have to fight it. We have to struggle through life to work really hard. Was any of you told that? You got to work really hard to get what you want. The more I work, the better it's going to be. The harder I work, the more I struggle, the better my life will be. And that's not the truth. Because it's through the surrender and the release that we find the peace inside. With my faith, I see the light. You know, we have faith always. The question is, what are we having faith in? Are we having faith in the worry and the bad thing that's going to happen? And I know that there's going to be an accident on my way home, and oh my gosh, now I'm going to worry about that accident because I don't want to be delayed on my way home? Am I having faith in that's going to happen? Well, that's silly. When I have a choice to have faith in, I'm going to fly home today. You notice that my David's not here with me today. The poor guy was not feeling well, so I made him stay home. But I'm eager to get home to make sure I can take care of him, even though he really doesn't need me to take care of him, but that's not the point. The point is that I'm going to have faith that the trip is going to be beautiful and easy getting home. Okay. So the faith that we have is always happening. It's what do you have faith in? And I'm going to have faith so that I see the light. The light in applying or meaning truth, enlightenment, that warm feeling inside, the good stuff. That's what I'm going to have faith in. And that's going to free me. Because if you notice that when we get into the control and we get into the closing and the confinement and the shrinking, kind of like the Grinch from last week, when we get into that, we're no longer feeling the freedom. We're no longer feeling like we can fly and we can do and everything is possible. We're feeling like life is big and overwhelming and scary. And so through opening and allowing that to happen, to be free in the Spirit, that is the feeling we're going for. That is what it's all about. So I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. I am only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. And I am only here for God. Doesn't that feel good? It makes my heart so warm. It does, doesn't it? Give you the chills? I love it. Okay, where am I at here? We're going to stay there for a minute. So then there's that whole reset thing. That was that second part of looking at life the way it is, and we start doing life in a way, right? We get in these patterns. We're creatures of habit. So I go to work the same way every day. I make my breakfast the same way every day. I get up and brush my teeth the same way every day. Anybody else do that? It's just the same thing every day. And through that repetition of doing the same thing every day, we start seeing things the same way every day. And when we see things the same way every day, we have no different perspective. Einstein said we can't solve the problem with the same mind that created it. And so we need to reset. We need to do something different. And this just happened to me, which, it's always interesting when things like that happen. And this may seem really minuscule or insignificant, but when I noticed it happen, I was like, huh. So around Thanksgiving, I'm feeling the contraction. I'm feeling the, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this working? Because, I got a couple businesses going, and some of them aren't looking the way I want them to look yet. So I get frustrated, and then, other things are happening in my family and dynamics, and you know how that all goes, especially when holidays start. And I was looking at the wall in my living room, and I went, what if I changed the wallpaper? And so, like on a Monday at 8 o'clock at night, I got David up there painting the wall with glue to hang this new wallpaper. It's really pretty, by the way. It looks like smoke. It's really pretty, very different. And then, of course, when I got the wallpaper up, you got to rearrange the pictures because it has to, fit, right? So I finally took down this picture that was my mother's picture. That is, I never really liked it, but it was my mom's. So I kept it. And so I took it down and I rearranged things, and it felt so good to take down this picture. Sorry, Mom. But it's so much better now, just shifting things up. And then I got seat covers for all of my furniture in my living room. So now it's this beautiful olive green. And so I've just rearranged everything, and I start thinking different. Because I've changed that groove, that's the old way that I've been doing it for the last, 3-4 years. This is the last time I kind of rearranged things in my living room and my dining room space. And so I start thinking a little different. And when I think different and my environment's a little different, then I can shift perspective. And it doesn't take a lot, right? You've done this before, right? Where you just kind of decide, I need to go on a little trip, right? Richard, you know this one. Or I just need to change my makeup a little bit. Or I need to go buy a new outfit. Or I need to go to the movies just to get out of the house to do something different on a Wednesday night. And when we do these little things, we shift our perspective. We shift our reality. And when we do that, we can express ourselves a little different, a little bigger, a little better. We aren't going to become somebody different, but we can become somebody more authentic. Somebody who we really are, instead of somebody who we think I should be. That I had that picture, now like thinking through it, I had that picture on my wall for 4 years. Why? I didn't even like the picture. It's very cute. It's a very cute picture. But it's these little girls and they're playing a flute. And I'm like, it didn't speak to me other than Mama liked it at one point. Doing what someone should have expected me to do rather than what I wanted to do. Have any of you done that? Just done it because someone else wanted you to do it? Yeah. And so that doesn't bring us joy. And in this time frame, isn't joy one of the reasons we should be doing our life? The things that bring us happiness? I had one of the ladies that live at my house, my independent living home. She had this mirror, this blanket on her wall, and she's like, I'm going to pack it up and I'm going to give it to my granddaughter. And I said, does your granddaughter want it? And she said, I don't know. I said, well, don't you love it? And she goes, oh, yep, every time I look at it, it just brings me so much joy. And I said, then I don't, help me understand. You're going to pack it up and give it to your granddaughter, who's probably in her, 30s, something that you don't know that she even wants, when you look at it on a daily basis and it brings you joy. Why would you do that? Why would you give away your joy? She went, oh, didn't think about it that way. I'm not going to send it to my granddaughter. I was like, I love that idea. You should totally keep your joy. And that takes us to the next step, which is our renewal. And in that renewal, we are able to, well, I want to back up just one little step here. It's wintertime, and last week we celebrated the winter solstice, and if you were there, it was a great time. If you weren't there, we wish you were there. Come next year, because we're going to do it again. And we look at the trees, and we look at the land, and we look at, and obviously not this area, but if we go north, we look at the snow, and everything goes dormant, right? Everything gets really quiet. And I think if we want to understand the God's way, the Spirit's way, the universal way, we just need to look at nature, right? We need to look at the trees that lose their leaves, and they sit and they look like they're dead, but they're not. They're resting. They're rejuvenating. They're making whatever they need to be doing inside in the quiet so that in the spring they can blossom. So we can get the little beautiful buds, and then we can see the beautiful flowers. But without the quiet, without the rejuvenation, the renewal, the flowers don't come. And actually, even with a little bit more struggle, we get more flowers, don't we? So I'm going to suggest that you be kind to yourself, that you allow yourself to rest, to rejuvenate. And sometimes a nap isn't enough. Sometimes we need to go for a hike, or we need to go and do something different to reset in order to be renewed. So you got that little piece of paper? Go ahead and fold that little, you've already folded it in half. You got something written on one side. On the other side of that side, so you've got where you wrote Sue's affirmation. On the inside of that one, I want you to put renewal. And on the opposite, I want you to put release. One side is renewal, one side is release. Now we're just going to take a minute, and I want you to think about what you would like to release starting this new year. What kind of limiting thought is keeping you from being who you want to be? So if it's a release of the money doesn't grow on trees, or the release is you have to work hard to get what you want, or if the release is I'm not tall enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, whatever that negative statement that you have in your head, I want you to put that on the release side. Just go ahead and write that down. Just take a minute to think about it. We're going to do 30 or 60 seconds. Go ahead, Alan. Let's give a little quiet music for them to think about. So you've written down your release, and now we need to replace it with something. So now we're going to think about the renewal. What are you going to replace that limiting belief with? Love, trust, truth, enlightenment? What belief can you put in its place? So instead of I'm too old, maybe it's I am wise. So just take a moment and think about it. Okay, so make sure you write that down. So on one side you have what you're releasing, and the other side you have what you're renewing. And now along that crease, I'd like you to tear the paper in half, right along the crease. Have Mary help you. Chris has only got one hand. It's hard to rip things with one hand. You've got two hands, one hand working. How about that? He does have two hands. So what we're going to do now is the one that says renew. I want you to fold that, and I want you to put that in your pocket. That is yours to remind you to keep. It has the affirmation that Sue gave you earlier, and it has what you are going to renew. Now the other one, the release, we need to release it, and since we're not allowed fire in here, we're not going to burn it. However, Sue is going to pass around a bag, and I would like you to put your release, your release in the bag. So fold it up so it fits nice and it's a small bag, and you're going to put that in there. And while you put it in there, mentally and emotionally release it. And then afterwards, I'll take it home and burn them. If you fold it in half and then in half again, that'll fit the bag a little better. Thank you, Charles. So Romans 12.2, I don't usually quote the Bible, but this one seems so appropriate. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. We get to change our mind. We get to make the decision to do something different. It's always about choice. And if you don't like the results that you're getting, change the choices you're making. Period. I know it sounds really easy. It's simple. It's not easy. It's incredibly simple. But to make that choice can take everything you got. And sometimes we make the choice that we don't like the results with anyway, even though we know that it's not going to serve us. We do it anyway. And that's okay. Be kind to yourself, forgive, and then move on and make a different choice. So I have one more story that has popped into mind that I'm going to share with you. I was sitting with a gentleman at work. He was obviously on hospice. He was close to passing. And so I asked him, is there anything that you need to release? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you feel like you need to be forgiven for? And he was a Vietnam vet, and he started to tell me a story that was pretty traumatic. And I won't repeat the story because I don't want to put that out there. But I sat there as a witness, not in judgment, not in awe or disgust or anything like that. I was just witnessing his story. And in the end, he said, can God forgive me for all of those people that I killed? And I said, God has already forgiven you. Now you need to forgive yourself. And through that permission, I watched as he contemplated and was willing to forgive himself for this horrific situation that he had been put into. And I believe that we need to do that for ourselves. It's not about, will God forgive me? God has already forgiven. And if you go back to Scripture, if you go back to the Bible, it says that you ask for forgiveness, it is yours, right? So we don't have to belabor that point. But what we do need to do is to remember to be kind to us, to me, and to forgive me so that I can move on and I can be my most beautiful self. Let's pray. So knowing that God is all there is, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-present, knowing that God is the source of all things, health and happiness, abundance in finances, in love, in life, knowing that God is authentic, that God is truth, God is faith, God is the mighty yes. I know that I am of and from and in and as this universal energy that I call God. It is who and what I am. And so I am all of the things that I had said just moments before. I am the health and the happiness. I am the divinity and the truth and the light and the love. I am that. And so being in my authentic self, I declare right here and right now, knowing that my words are the words of all that can hear my voice, that there is peace in me, and in me than the world. That there is love in me, and in me than the world. That there is abundance in me, and in me than the world. And so as I am the example through me, I know that it emulates, vibrates, flows, ripples out. So in that, I take the responsibility of releasing what does not work and the responsibility of renewing what does work. In this new year that is coming, I see the possibilities and have the faith of joy and laughter and growth and discovery. So I say thank you. Thank you to the God in me. Thank you to the God around me. Thank you to all that is and ever will be. I am grateful for the truth and the knowingness and the remembering and the waking up to it. And in such gratitude, I release my word into the law, knowing it is done, done, done. And together we affirm by saying, and so it is. So it is. Okay, we're going to do the affirmation next. Oh, that felt really good. Okay, everyone go ahead and stand up, and we're going to do this affirmation. We read it once together, and then we say it again loud and with emotion and passion. You ready? I release the year that has been. I refresh my body, mind, and spirit. I step into renewal with grace, and so it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. I release the year that has been. I refresh my body, my mind, and my spirit. I step into renewal with grace, and so it is. And so it is. Cha-cha-cha.
I
Release, and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the So now is the time to tithe our talent, treasure, and they're laughing. It's time to give, and in the reciprocation of life, the more we give, the more we receive. And so there is blue envelopes on your chair. There is the red bowl over in the corner there. There are affirmation cards. So make sure that when you leave, you make sure you take an affirmation card and share that when you are done. Again, reciprocation. And put your blue envelope into the red bowl. You can also give through Zelle, online, as well as mail it. And as we discovered last week, we do have checks still in the works, right? So a little story of tithing. I was not raised in a Christian world. I was raised in a metaphysical world. My family, my parents were hippies. And so we did meditation when I was like 6. I was doing that. So I learned about how science of mind works. And so when it came to tithing, I'm like, really? You just want me to give you money just because? Really? But then I started diving into it, and I discovered that where I am fed spiritually, if I give to that, then I receive more. And so I decided to test it. I took a class, it's called Prosperity Plus. Some of you may have taken it before. And in Prosperity Plus, it gives you the challenge to tithe from everything that you collect, 10%. So I did it, and I did it faithfully. And so I would give, and I would get more back. What? And then I would give more, and I would get more back. And I'm like, okay, so if this works this way, will it work in reverse? So I decided I wanted to make X amount of money a month. And so I tithed 10% of that at the beginning of the month. And I was surprised because when I went and added everything up that I had gotten that month, it equaled that 10%. I just added a 0, and that's how much money I made. Almost, not quite, almost to the dollar. It blew my mind. And so if you ask me, does tithing work? It does in so many ways. It helps support this center so that we can continue to grow, so we can have food in the back, so that we can have affirmation cards, so that we have our ministers that get, Joe comes up and I come up to do this, to participate and to share with you. It allows us to do classes. It allows us to, have music. So that's one way. The other way is a personal gain, because the more I give, like I said, the more I receive. And so it creates that reciprocation of the universe saying, I trust, I have faith. And in that trust and that faith, I receive back. And then I give more, and I get back. But you got to give first, and that's true with anything. That's not just finances. That's love. Have you ever noticed the kinder you are to somebody, the kinder life is to you? If I am giving my time, if I want more time, you give more time. Because it's reciprocal. It doesn't make any sense logically, but it works. It works amazingly. Volunteer your time. You'll get so much time back. Volunteer your talents, and you will get it back through other people's talents. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. So let's go ahead and if you haven't already done so, you can walk over to the red bowl. We're going to do a little bless me song or bless you song. Ready? Oh, I forgot the affirmation. I do that regularly, don't I? Okay, we're going to affirm this now. So go ahead and take your tithing, whether that is a love offering, if it is a financial offering, it is whatever, a blessing. Go ahead and put that on your heart. And we're going to say this together. I am overflowing with love and abundance. I give from the source of my being, which is rich and unlimited. With joy and excitement, I share from this overflow. In return, the universe gives back to me in infinite ways, channels, and means. And so it is. So it is. So it is. Now we're going to sing. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I am
So blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. In such gratitude, I know that God is all there is, all knowing, all powerful, all present. Knowing that God is the source, we know that I am, as everyone here is, one with the whole, the one, the whole, the complete. And so knowing this is the truth, I know that this financial support, this investment continues to reciprocate, that we are able to invest in our community, invest in CSL, and invest in growing our community here through love and life and light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And together, and I release my word into the law, knowing it is done. And together we affirm by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Okay, Alan, take us. Let's go ahead and stand up here. We're going to
do something special.
We are?
Yes, we're going to sing it a cappella.
Okay.
I will help.
Okay. So before we do that, I'd like to have all the Star, will you join us up front? Any practitioner here or minister here, please come join us up front. That's you. And you. Come on up. Chris? Star, will you join us up front? That's okay. Take your time, Star. Are you ready? Go ahead and hold hands with each other. If you're comfortable with that, connecting is critical. So, yep, you can move. It's okay. There you go. Are we rocking? Okay. Perfect. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay, whenever you're ready, Alan. Yes, there is peace on earth, and let it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our guider, loved ones all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Woo. Wow, excellent. That's okay. Yes, help yourself to refreshments. Look at the bookstore, and we'll see you next time.